What's going on?
G'day. Tex and Ads here from unitytradinggroup.com. Hope you're doing well, staying safe wherever you are. If you're in Melbourne, Victoria, like us at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
3 days to go,
Yeah,
maybe 3 days to go. Admittedly, this lockdown has been probably the most annoying of the lockdowns. I
mm-hmm.
preferred the 3 month lockdown, but this 2 week lockdown is driving me bonkers.
You
So
preferred the
I hope
three
I
month.
hope at least it was like the first. It was one of the first times, and you can get used to it. This two
Okay,
week one is like it teased you with that week lockdown. They're
yeah.
like, no, sake, we're gonna draw it out by another week. And that's what got me for sure. So anyway, rant over. I hope you're doing well. Tex and Ads here. Let's get into the markets.
Before
We'll look at
we
the
get
majors,
into it,
of
though,
course.
hit that like button,
Oh,
tap the subscribe button if you can,
of
and of
course.
course, tick the bell to stay updated on all the content that we put out. I hope you're picking up what we're putting down. Go for it, bro. Sorry
Of
to
course.
interrupt.
I'm a little rusty. It's been a little bit on trying to spruik our stuff. No, but listen, in terms of the market right now, not a great deal happening on a daily basis. We are sort of
Yeah,
just trending for BTC within this range. We haven't really made any significant higher highs at this point, and really until we break above this 41K zone, this order block, this supply block, whatever you want to call it, at the top, that can hold above this, we're kind of just stuck in this little area for the time being. Really, sort of between like 34 and 39, I guess, is some of the lows. We did have this pin bar reversal down here where we saw this nice move to the upside towards that supply zone, but these rallies are kind of just getting weaker and weaker at the moment. There's no
mm-hmm.
real sustained or moves to the upside that are making this market more excited. We see this really fundamentally strong news out of I can't remember what countries it were, Bolivia or Uruguay or Paraguay, something like that, that is now looking at BTC as a means of transactions and currency throughout a whole country that has been stipulated by government officials, by people in government in these countries, and the market barely moved. And then we get a tweet from Elon Musk talking about come rockets to the moon or whatever the hell the coin was, or posting Linkin Park memes with BTC, and seemingly it has these effects where it mini crashes the market. So the market is very volatile right now, which I guess is a testament to the amount of retail traders
Yeah.
in this space right now that are being spooked by Elon Musk tweets, but are not fundamentally bullish or buying BTC at these levels based on whole countries talking about using Bitcoin. So, we're kind of really on a knife's edge at the moment. From a macro overview, for me personally, this feels like this would be an amazing time to be accumulating uh, coins like this: BTC, ETH, XRP, LTC, Sol, for example. These coins that have these really, always underlying bullish momentum, regardless of the market. When things cool off, they seem to be the quickest ones to recover. So for me, that's certainly what I've been doing. I'm still dollar cost averaging into positions. I'm still accumulating the majors where I can. I'm not looking at low cap altcoins at this time, because I think for a lot of these alts and where we are, we'll continue chopping sideways potentially until the end of the month. And then we're in July, we may start to see some action one way or another, ads. But yeah, at the moment, BTC kind of trending sideways. Not my sole focus at the moment. I'm more concerned about ETH at this current time frame. But you can see we've come down, we've broken this bottom trend line that ads has drawn in here. And typically what we see, and I'm not saying this is what we typically see, but for a lot of times we see moves up, we see consolidations, we see moves to the downside, and then often in bearish territory, kind of where we are, rejections off major trend lines and then continuations to the downside. So for BTC, with how, I guess, negative the market is at the moment, that would probably be what I would be expecting. Another lower high, and potentially a move back down towards that 34K mark.
And I think you're 100% right with that. And funny you say the accumulation and in your own aspect of things. I had one of the guys in the Discord actually ask me, he watches the videos every single night, or tries to anyway. And he asked me, what am I doing in this instance? And I'm exactly the same as you, man. Looking at a higher time frame. On the higher time frames, of course, looking a little better in the sense of a
Yeah.
oversold condition, and just accumulating Bitcoin, accumulating Ethereum, some of the higher caps as well, like LTC, like BNB. Not so much BNB in this instance, XRP as well, though. ADA, of course, but in the same sort of position. And as you said, a likely move from this would be towards that 31k level of demand, because we did have that fake out, and then now we're seemingly having a low volume lull and a little bit of a retest of this 23.6 and of course this trend line here. So it's going to be an interesting one, but we are continuing to make lower highs to the downside, and it's not holding true for this way here where we're making higher lows, because we're currently changing direction. So we were making higher lows until this instance here where we failed to do it again. So this is a good example of a change in market direction on a lower time frame scale of things, where we are continuing this trend, but we are breaking the one to the upside. So this is confirming our break to that downside with that pennant symmetrical triangle that we've got there. So it's going to be interesting, but 31k even towards some of this liquidity in the medium term or the short term to give us a retest there, 33, 32, and of course down we get towards that 30,000, 31k, Ty.
Yeah, totally. People, when we're at 60k, people go, man, I would give anything to buy BTC back at 30k. Man, I would give anything to buy ETH back down at $1,800, $2,000, ADA down at $1 or 95 cents, XRP down at 45, 50 cents. We're here. So utilize the opportunity to, and this isn't financial advice, but we're being very open with the way in which we're trading this market. This is an opportunity to accumulate BTC or these ETH alts, whatever it is that you want to choose. We're not telling you what to buy, at dramatically lower prices than what they were 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So in my opinion, this is the time where you should be utilizing the opportunity to learn about market structure, to learn about distributions, reaccumulations, all the phases of these Wyckoff schematics, and understand where we are in the nature of things. Look at the higher time frames. Higher time frames are certainly looking, as Ad said, quite oversold on a number of pairs. And that's not entirely indicative of exactly where we're going, but we look at our RSI, we look at the buys off this lower demand zone and how much liquidity was down at these areas here and how significant this demand zone is. These are opportunities, even if we do head back down towards 22k, entirely likely in this market right now. But utilize this opportunity to sort of look at things from a grand overview and go, wow, we're quite fortunate that we're here. You've got another opportunity. Then in the whole 10 years of BTC, or the last 11 years of BTC, not once have we gone lower than where we were the previous year or, the previous couple of years. We're still very much, if you're looking at the weekly or the monthly uptrends of BTC in this market, still very, very young. So, utilize that opportunity and take your blinders off and look at this from a much bigger perspective and how fortunate we are to be here right now.
Absolutely. It's the bigger picture and the bigger scale of things, and looking at the daily, comes towards that. And like Ty did say, we can 100% head down to the lower level of demand.
Absolutely. That would be a 100%. Gift. That would be an absolute gift.
Yes.
Of course, you got to play this smart though.
Yeah. And you've got to take in all of those indicators and all of that data in the sense where on an RSI, you can see down the bottom here, we're sitting at 39.40. And in terms of our steamroller indicator, CCI as well, we still have plenty of room to run to the downside. And that holds true with RSI as well. So if we do come down here and break through this and head down to the 25, like Ty said, that would be a gift. I do have orders sitting at that point.
1,000%. I have the order sitting just a little bit higher than that demand block, just in case we get front run. But yeah, absolutely I do. You'd be a fool not to.
Absolutely.
And just quickly as well, that RSI that we have on our screen there, the UTG RSI that has the built-in divergence, you can get that free, by the way. You can go to our website, unitytradinggroup.com, or you can go to our profile on TradingView and get that 100% free. Why? Because why the hell not?
Exactly.
All right, ETH. Certainly my biggest bag, still ETH, looking a little bit more positive than BTC. really, no matter what time frame you're looking at, ETH is a little bit more bullish at the moment. We saw Mayweather come out today. If you watch that horrendous fight, good on Jake Logan Paul for doing what he did. I'd do that for $26 million as well. But when Mayweather came out, he was wearing an Ethereum Max T-shirt. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he's wearing an Ethereum T-shirt." Well, yeah, it was loosely an Ethereum T-shirt, but Ethereum Max. It got people talking, which is great. So yeah, Ethereum. We can see where we are now. Again, there's likely a likelihood to head lower, but what I'm sort of looking at with Ethereum at the moment is hopefully a little pop. So that can go a little bit lower, that line. I can't adjust it. Let me just.
Okay. We get the idea.
Anyway, you get the idea. So what we're looking for is this sort of level here. Well, let's say probably this is maybe a more likely level, but we've also got a little bit of resistance here and that 31K level. So we really want to see ETH hold above this supply zone here, because if you look at the structure to the left-hand side, not a whole lot holding that back. If we can head back up towards the sort of the mid 3/4s, where I think we'll likely see like this sell-off event occur again. I don't think we would be busting through that back up towards a 3.8, 4K, 5K, 6Ks anytime soon. We might just establish another range similarly to like what we've got here in this particular range. So, still quite bullish on overall on ETH. And again, this is an incredible opportunity to be purchasing this asset at far lower prices, like a 20% discount. A 50%, 40% discount on where we were at 4.2, 4.3. So I'm psyched about that.
That's how you really got to approach this market in terms of psychology. If you're looking at the prices where we were up here, you've really got to take it in your stride and think of it that way. That is a 50% discount. That's literally what it is. That's the best way to be. That's the best attitude to have, in the sense of no one wants to, in terms of the normal market psychology, in terms of human emotion, no one wants to buy it down here. That's the idea, to buy down here and sell up here, but it never, ever works out that way, especially for newer people in the market. So to change your way of thinking and turn that around and say, hey, it's looking pretty crap, it's probably not a bad time to buy. That's what we're saying.
100%. And we mentor a lot of guys behind the scenes, and they all struggle with this psychologically, and we're fortunate enough that Ads and I have been in this market long enough to take the wins and to take the losses with the wins, and understand that we've said this in Stay Dot, you've got to have a trader mindset, you've got to have an investor mindset. If you're a trader mindset, you're looking for the short-term gains. It's the marshmallow test. If you're either going to take one marshmallow or you're going to wait a little bit and you're going to get two marshmallows. Trading is very much like that. You've got to not look for the shiny object. You've not got to look for the immediate gratification, and understand that long term, this is exactly where we want to be in this market. We have continued rallies to the upside, which is all the euphoria. We have these pretty substantial sell-offs, which is nothing new in this market. And as Warren Buffett says, when there's blood in the street, that's the time to buy. Yeah. And we talk about a dollar cost averaging strategy. We talk about that quite a lot, and demand blocks and supply blocks quite a lot inside UTG. And if you were dollar cost averaging like what we were, very transparently, and not to brag, I got to buy at $18.90 on Binance, and I'm still holding that position. And that was one of my bigger buys. And it was not a buy with the intention thinking that we would get there. It was a sneaky buy with like the holy shit, if we could get here, that'd be fucking amazing. And that's kind of what happened. And that was during the middle of a Binance maintenance phase. So I was very, very lucky to get that. But that just sort of goes to show you that you can still accumulate it at lower prices with benefits. If we do head back down lower than what we are currently, you can still have your orders placed at 2,400. You can still have orders placed at 1,800, 1,500, whatever it is that it might be. And understanding the overall scheme of things, there might be some short-term pain as you're looking at your portfolio going, oh my shit, like I'm down however much on that buy. But 6 months from now, we're going to be looking back at this and probably laughing and going, holy shit, remember when we were like at $1,800 ETH and having a laugh and stressing out about it. So, it's a good opportunity, and the short and long of it is don't waste it.
It's not that long ago that ETH was $500.
I remember when it was $231 and we were talking about it, and I had, my upper targets, and I think my upper target at that time I was like 1,300-1,400 bucks, and I was like, holy shit, could you imagine if we get there to that price on ETH? And then like when we went from 700 to 900 in the space of like a day, we were all freaking out going, there's no way this can last. And then next minute we're at $4,200 for Ethereum. So you see how quick this market moves, especially when there's a lot of bullish sentiment and retail buyers with seemingly deep pockets that want to pick up the majors with really no brains about what they're doing. They just
no thought process.
No thought process whatsoever, and that's when people like us can benefit from that even more so. People that have a plan and know what they're doing.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into LTC, and then we'll have a look at maybe ADA as well. We'll keep this nice and short. LTC, again, I've not paid a hell of a lot of attention to that. I think probably LTC might see the same fate as BTC in the short term. I don't see it rocketing up too much. We've really, really got to break that level where ads is drawing that supply zone now at around, I would say probably conservatively 220 is where I would want to see LTC move and hold above, because similar to BTC, that market structure to the left-hand side here, which you can see on right here, not a ton holding that back if we can get to that point. But that's the issue right now. We've got to get to that point, and we're just floating at the minute.
And that's exactly right. We're basically in between two decent levels. And when I say decent, I say it pretty loosely. And when we're talking about upper targets or upper movements, let me get rid of this one just for the minute to give you a really good context of what I think. This level up here, that is the higher quality level of supply. So we're looking at $178 currently, and the highest quality level of supply is at $300. So that's not a bad swing trade if you can hold on to it for quite some time. From swing to swing, you're looking at 150%, nearly 145. That's not a bad thing. And of course, if we wait for the break of a higher high, let's say, and a retest, let's say we're retesting the top of the level of supply, you're still taking about 45% home on that one. So not too bad. If you're waiting for your confirmation, if you're drawing your TA, and if you're taking the data in, so not a bad one for LTC, but that's jumping a little bit ahead in the sense of we are still floating in the middle of no man's land, pretty much in between a level of supply that's low quality in the middle of the level of demand, which is a little bit higher quality. So we're really waiting for a break either side of this price action. Steamrollers in the middle, RSI is exactly the same, so no clear direction at this point. So it might be worth just sitting on your hands for a little longer to see which direction LTC takes, because if we retest the $120 mark again, or even some of the Fibonacci levels from swing low to swing high, for example, like 61.8 at $150, that might be a good pickup for the eventual move to the upside, I think, Ty.
Yeah, and excuse me. Yeah, that's where I think we'll head with LTC. Admittedly, that sort of 150, 152 zone is probably the likely situation for LTC at the moment, which, as I said, would be mimicking the movements of BTC. So let's see what happens.
All right, we'll move on tonight. We'll have a look at the last one in the sense of our forex pair to DXY. Of course, this is not a regular. This is a regulated market. Excuse me, not financial advice at all.
This is not regulated, so buy at your own free will.
It's absolutely regulated. Not financial advice, of course, just ideas and opinions of us here at UTG. We've been really following this descending wedge formation from last week, so a good result, in my opinion, from this point. We did have a move to the upside, a retest of our drawn-in level of demand, and of course, we pushed up higher again. So a good result in the sense of our TA. We are still stuck around this 90.235 area after getting a bit of a movement to the upside from there. But in the sense of this price action here, well, that was terrible. In the sense of this price action here, it's seemingly moving to the upside, and the lows are higher and the highs are higher. So looking at this formation like this, if I were, am to draw it in, something like that might be on the cards at 90.800 for the eventual move of this market, or this on this time frame, the 4 hour, and we can nip this up. I'll leave it the way it was, actually, to be honest. There we go. So the eventual area of interest for me would be the 90.8. I don't think we'll probably see 89.149 immediately, unless we see some lows being printed tonight, or a second retest of our level of demand, and that could come to fruition. However, if you pay close attention to this RSI, we are using the 50 RSI currently as a level of support, as we usually do. We harp on about this all the time, where we use 50 RSI as a level of resistance, and of course in this instance we're using it as a level of support. So that is a good indicator as to which direction we could probably expect this to go in, and using this as a level of support, of course we are cooling off our level of steamroller, and we are seemingly not creating lower lows. So it looks to me like we could probably come up and retest 90.8 in the immediate term. So it'd be good to really revisit this on Wednesday or Thursday night this week to see how it plays out.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that analysis, ads, and thank you very much for you for watching. Of course, everything that we do here, unitytradinggroup.com. Hit that subscribe button and smash that like button, and get the instant updates every time we do this. Every single day, you see exactly what we're seeing. We're very, very transparent. And come over to the Discord as well, unitytradinggroup.com. It's free. We don't charge anything for any of that, where we post our daily TA and stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the links the links down below for the Discord. So make sure you do come over and join the conversation. We do have the best group of traders that we've ever had in there.
100%.
So very keen to hear your thoughts. But until tomorrow, we'll have a great night.
See you soon. Bye bye.